tracking the coven, be on the lookout.
Willing sacrifices. How nice.
Sacrifice? I'd rather give you my axe, bitch.
No matter. I found something. This way?
Go with your vampire friend. I'm gonna look around here.
Do you see? These are the same as the urns smuggled from Bankarai. They didn't just shatter, they exploded. I can sense traces of magicka clinging to the shards that match the energy used in the storm ritual. These other fragments, though. All this rubble scattered around didn't just come from these urns. The texture and patterns are different. They appear to have used the funerary dust in the urns to summon the Harrow Storms. But I'm not sure what was inside the larger vessels. Look at the shape of the fragments. They come from a hollow receptacle of some sort. Something at least as tall as you. Perhaps larger. Just another piece of the puzzle. Maybe when I analyze the witchpike residue, an answer will suggest itself. Thank you, but no. I try to avoid large population centers. The temptation. You understand. I'll find someplace nearby, but out of the way where I can set up my equipment and work undisturbed. I'll send word when I have something to report. I met a clever woman who lives in the bog near Morthal. Old Mjolnir's a dying breed among the Nords, a practitioner of the old magic. The locals both admire and fear her. If anyone can help me untangle the Coven's ritual, it's her.
So, what did your vampire friend discover? Reach witches summoning magical storms to create feral vampires? That's horrible, but to what purpose? Well, that's the next puzzle to solve. First, we need to get this information to the Queen. Here. This was for Brondol, but it's yours now. Queen Gerhild needs to hear what we discovered at Kill Creek Temple. Hopefully that will be enough for her to get us an audience with High King Svargrim. The Queen seemed reasonable. She'll believe us. As for Svargrim, who can tell? I haven't met the man, but everything I've heard describes him as prideful, arrogant, and hard-headed. Even with the Queen's help, there's no guarantee. I'd like to knock down the palace door, grab him by the throat, and shake him until he listens. That would probably start a war, though, and Yoren specifically asked me to avoid that. For now, let's bring our evidence to Queen Gerhild. If there's anything else we need to discuss, let's get it out of the way now, before we return to solitude. Hey, you and Fëanorian came to that conclusion, not me. Still, it makes as much sense as anything. As to why, I have no idea. This connection to vampires, though, that's troubling. We should keep Fen away until we get into Svargrim's good graces. A clever woman? Out here? Nords are extremely distrustful of magic, especially Nords from western Skyrim. I'm surprised the people of Morthal tolerate her presence. If anyone can help Fen figure out the Coven's ritual, though, it would be her. If there's anything else we need to discuss... Hey, you and Fenorian came to that conclusion. A clever woman? Our priority remains getting an audience with High King Svargrim. We need to convince him that the Ice Reach Coven is a threat to his kingdom, and get him to help us stop them. Let's return to Solitude and present our findings to the Queen. Clever men and women are Nords with an aptitude for magic, though most use the term to refer to practitioners of the old ways. They're rare. Not the usual adepts found at the Mages Guild. Distrust of magic runs deep in Skyrim, especially out here. Could be that the elves our ancestors fought soured our taste for magic. Or maybe there weren't enough skalds singing about wizards going to Sovngarde. Might be that Nords just prefer their natural talents. Either way, magic isn't popular here.
What do you want?
Help! Assassins in the palace! Help!
That's one of the Queen's attendants. Let's get inside.
Be strong, Svanna.
Mother! No! No!
Svanna, your father, the kingdom. Watch over.
Mother! No! You can't die! Mother!
Sire, the assassins might return. You must get to somewhere safe.
Have Yoren's lackeys come to gloat?
We came here to warn you, Your Highness.
And yet my wife lies dead,
If you had listened to us...
like she did. If I determine Yoren had a hand in this, there will be war! Someone take care of my wife!
Father, please.
Gods, what a disaster. The Queen's been assassinated and Svargrim still refuses to listen to reason. We need to find a way to set things right. Good question. Guards should have been able to handle a run-of-the-mill assassin. This could be connected to the Ice Reach Coven. In fact, I'd wager my axe that it is. Look around. See if you can find any indication of how the assassin got in and out of the palace so easily. Maybe even turn up something that ties the murderer to the Coven. I'll make sure the princess is all right.
Please, pardon me while I grieve for our dear queen. She was a friend of mine.
What is that terrible smell?
I truly regret my lack of skill at arms right now. I want to eviscerate.
I asked a Nord about one of the 3 slashes inked on her right bicep. Apparently, she got it after avenging her brother, who died hunting a bear. She ripped that bear apart with her bare hands.
Svana's taking this pretty hard. I suppose most daughters feel close to their mothers. Not that I'd know, I never knew my mother. Sorry, don't mind me. Did you find anything that might lead us to the assassin? We've seen these medallions before. On the Reachman near Kilcreath. And I saw them on the witches in Icereach. The assassin definitely seems to be in league with the Coven. But can we get Svargrim to believe that and accept the danger he's in? Svargrim has every right to be angry. He watched his wife die right before his eyes. But he's the High King. He doesn't have the right to be stupid. Time to make Svargrim confront some hard truths. Come on, the Sword Thane led the king upstairs. We need to see the High King.
I should think not. The High King is in mourning. He's not to be disturbed.
The Queen's wasn't the only life lost today. Now get out of our way.
Go right in.
Your Highness, please. Your kingdom is in grave danger.
My queen's blood hasn't yet cooled, and already Yoren's lackeys hound me.
We have proof that the Coven threatening your kingdom is responsible for the Queen's death. Show him, partner.
Does Yoren think me so weak that he believes his half-giant can twist my arm and fill my head with lies? I am not so easily duped, outsider. Reach witches. They pose no threat. We've beaten back those wild dogs time and time again, while our brothers to the east bow down to a poetry-writing milk drinker. I will not be lectured on such matters by the likes of you. Tales told around campfires to scare the children. Storms happen here all the time, and none of them spawn monsters. The last spy who spoke of such things, well, he no longer speaks of such things. I am the Wolf of Solitude. I know my enemies. You dishonor my wife's name by letting it pass through your treacherous lips. Away with you! And pray I don't find evidence that ties you to the Queen's murder. That would not go so well for you.
We'll leave you to your grief, Your Highness.
Is it true? Mother told me you were working for her before she...
I'm sorry, Svana. I would have saved her if I could.
My mother. She told me she gave the mighty Lyris Titanborn an important task. Tell me, what were you doing for my mother? Threat? What threat? And do you think this is why someone came into the palace and killed her? And did you tell my father all this? Is he rallying the soldiers? Alerting the other holds? My father sees Yoren's plots everywhere, even in his spicy venison stew. Well, I won't let my mother's death be for nothing. She trusted you, and so will I. My father be damned. Please, find whoever did this and stop them. I saw the assassin. He moved fast. Unbelievably fast. He leaped through the window after stabbing my mother. By that time, the guards had gathered, so I guess he decided to flee. Try to follow his trail. Someone outside must have seen something. No. My mother... The last time we spoke, I hurled a mug at her. But I came when she summoned me. Just in time to see her murdered. I need to pull myself together. She asked me to watch over my father. The kingdom. I can't let her down. My father? Listen to me? When Horkers fly, maybe. But probably not even then. He gave up on me a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm no use to you. No use to anyone. I'm not my mother. Never will be. But I swear I'll do whatever I can to help you. You have my word on that.
Come on, Princess. Let's get you somewhere safe.
Don't call me princess. Just Svanna. There's nothing noble about me.
A fascinating application of the technique.
My wife, she is like ice, so cold, so pale. All the warmth sucked out of her. There was a commotion at the palace. Everyone was headed that way, except one man. No, not a man. He wore an eye patch, but his face was bestial. He dragged her along like a bone between a dog's teeth. Then he tossed her aside, pale as snow. He was fast, so fast, ran toward the Hall of the Dead. He never even looked back at what he had done.
Will you pray with me for these poor souls? Cut down and bound for the Hall of the Dead much too soon. It was a monster, a vampire. I have seen such creatures before, but this one wore an eye patch. It moved like a shadow and took sustenance from these poor souls. I called upon Arkay's grace, and the vampire fled before his sacred presence. Toward the main gate, I pray the guard finished off the depraved creature before it took another innocent life.
You again? Didn't I warn you about putting your nose where it doesn't belong? A vampire? I don't know what you're talking about. But whoever it was tore out Senolia's throat and fled through the gate before I could stop him. What do you know about all this? And why is it any of your business? The Queen's dead? What about the High King? He'll have my head for letting the assassin slip away. Yeah. It's not like I opened the gate and let him slink off. The real problem's at the palace. No more questions. I've got to secure the gate and take care of poor Senolia.
This is Svargrim's fault. He should have heeded us from the start.